with people in Irish rugby, and well, I think we did just about everything but win the game.
Last year. And it was the Scottish front pair of Kyan and Fraser, nearly 50 goals between them this season, who did the damage with a brace apiece. The first for Fraser after only 4 minutes following a Greg Davidson ball into the area. It looked like a floodgate situation after 28 minutes. A mistake by the Cruise player-manager Roy Walker, who couldn't trap a Fraser pass. No mistakes from Stevie Kyan, 2-0. Crusaders made a match of it just before the break. A corner by Alex Denver was knocked on by Kirk Hunter, and namesake Glenn Hunter backheeled past Keenan. And 20 minutes into the second half, it was all square. A dummy and a good cross coming in from Stephen Stewart. Glenn Hunter and Mickey Keenan again duelling. While that was being sorted out, Jim Gardner did the only thing in the circumstances. Then some classic finishing by the Scottish duo ended the argument, the pair combining for Kyan's second. And the favour was repaid as Fraser equalled up the tally with a solo effort just before the end. Match of the day, though, was at Castlereagh Park. Roy Coyle's New Look Ards.
For them, then they've nothing to worry about.
Right, Nigel, thank you very much indeed. It's back to Bass Irish Cup soccer as we turn our thoughts to the Cliftonville Crusaders tie at Solitude. So what about the Crews? Just recently the men from Seaview have put some good results together, climbed the table, and 2 of their players have been making a name for themselves. Talk about Crusaders these days, and most people say goalkeeper Kevin McKeown's a good one. The Scot they got from Motherwell is certainly doing the business. Fans also talk about the goal-scoring exploits of Glenn Hunter, the cold storage worker who's ice-cool in the box. He's got 22 this season. Those 2, plus a squad with a good sprinkling of talent and experience, and these are better days at Seaview.
Well, certainly if you're working off the premise that last season we were a very poor side, and we've transformed the team slightly in the pre-season. Certainly more experience has been brought to bear, and in no small measure has that contributed to the reasonable success that we've achieved thus far. You take a scalp with one of the major sides, it gives everyone a lift, supporters, board members, and not least players. They're encouraging results, but we've a long, long way to go before we achieve anything.
How would you sum up Kevin McKeown?
Well, without putting too much pressure on Kevin, I believe he's the best goalkeeper around at present. He's a professional, has brought a professional attitude with him from his days in Motherwell.
When I came here, the first thing I asked were Crusaders an ambitious lot, and as soon as I walked in the door, you know, you could sense that the place was on the move from the backroom staff out. So we're building at the moment, but you can tell that we're going to do something, you know.
If Kevin's stopping them, Glenn Hunter is scoring them, and in that total of 22, 7 have come in the last 7 games.
Getting more confident week by week, definitely am, yeah. So I was pleased to score the goals, and I'll help the rest of the team that keep setting me up, so I'll keep scoring them. We're starting to play like a team, we're starting to get results, and confidence is boosted.
How difficult will it be to keep them at Seaview?
Well, I suppose, unfortunately, Glenn being a goal scorer is always going to be a saleable commodity. I think if we're big enough as a club, we'll keep Glenn Hunter. If we can't keep him, we don't deserve anything else.
Jackie McManus, it's always difficult to keep the good players, isn't it? And Glenn Hunter's a big talent.
Yes, well, the old adage is that good managers get good players. I suppose in this instance it'll be good managers keep good players.
Yeah, I think Roy Walker's right there. They've got to try and keep him.
Oh, they do, yeah. Really.
Cliftonville, your old mate Sinky, Billy Sinclair, he's done a good job at Solitude.
Smashing ever.
It's a cool, fresh world where you can go clear, crisp and light. The shit tastes just right. A twist of lemon for a taste sensation. A squeeze of lime is the perfect combination. Clear, crisp and light. The shit tastes just right. Clear, crisp and light. The shit tastes just right.
Hello again. Well, this is the beginning of Remembrance Week, and on 6 tonight we talk to 4 women who are the innocent victims of violence in Northern Ireland. This evening, a mother who lost a son tells her story.
Every day, Maura Kiley turns up for work at this school in East Belfast.
As the assistant librarian, Mrs. Kiley is working with senior pupils, people who'd be 17 or 18 and in their final year at school. Dealing with their inquiries must be a constant reminder of a son Maura Kiley lost over 16 years ago. On Sunday the 9th of February 1975, 18-year-old Gerard Kiley was at evening mass here at St. Bride's Church on Derryvolgie Avenue. He was in his first year at Queen's University. Gerard Kiley died, along with another student, on the steps of the church here. He was not singled out. He was murdered simply because as someone coming out of Mass, he must have been a Catholic.
Gerard went to Mass in St. Bridget's because he had told me the night before, whenever we had left him in the hall to residence. I said to him, "Now, Gerard, don't forget to go to Mass." And he said to me, "No, Mum, I'll go to St. Bridget's." And that was all right. Edmund came to bed, and then at about 1:30, our doorbell started ringing frantically. And I wouldn't let Edmund get out of the bed to go to the window, because in the early 70s there were a lot of doorstep assassinations and what have you. And the door still kept ringing, and eventually we had to get up and go to the window and peer through the Venetian blind. And a voice shouted up, "It's the police, and we have a Catholic priest with us."
Were you ever made aware of the killer's identity?
Well, the police told us that there were two boys who were just 18, the same age as Gerard, and that it was a revenge shooting, retaliation for two soldiers who had been killed the night before, and that they were told to go to a Catholic church where it was unlikely that they would make a mistake and shoot two Catholics for the two policemen, or two soldiers who had been killed, and that they had actually got a £5 note for doing it. But I am glad, and I've often said to God that I really am glad that I was Gerard's mother and not the mother of the boy, who was only 18, who shot him.
Why do you say that?
Well, I would hate to think that I would rear a child just to go out and have such hatred or bitterness or whatever in his heart that he would take a gun and shoot somebody down in cold blood. I was very angry, not with the boy who shot Gerard, but with God. I was very, very angry with God.
How did that manifest itself, that anger?
Well, Gerard loved coffee, and he was a big, tall chap, and he would have put his head round the door and said, "Mum, a cup of coffee." And about a week after, Gerard had died, and I was sitting in there just completely devastated. I just went out and made a cup of coffee, and stupid it was really, and came in and just threw the cup of coffee up round the picture of the Sacred Heart, and saying, how dare you let Gerard die. It was silly, but I know that God understood.
You work in a school. Most of the people you're dealing with are 17 and 18. They're people who would be in the same age group as your son Gerard. Do you think about him a lot when you're dealing with the inquiries of people in that school library?
More so, because that was the school that Gerard went to. He was one of the founder pupils, members of that college. When Gerard started there in September 1967, there were just 80 boys went into that college, and Gerard was one of those boys and went right through there until he did his A-levels and went to university. So I would see Gerard walking through the corridors or through the school as an 18-year-old. It can be at times, yes. Quite painful.
When you hear about recent killings, it must bring February 1975 right back into very sharp focus.
Oh yes, because you know, the memory of that tragedy from February 75 is etched so deeply in my mind.
Do you relive it again almost?
That you'd really almost relive it again. It really is like a wound that gets opened up again.
Does the pain recede with the passing years?
No, it doesn't, Paul. Because the memory of that tragedy on that February night is etched so deeply in my mind that it would never recede at all. And people will say that it would be great if you had the first year over, because then you can forget about it. But I would never ever want to forget about it. I would never really I don't want to forget Gerard.
This is Maura Kiley. Tomorrow night we talk to a woman who survived a bomb blast which killed 3 policemen and a nun.
In sport this evening, Down hurlers find the going tough in Division 1. But Linfield stay on top of the Irish League. With that, plus details of the Northern Ireland squad, here's Adrian Logan.
Thanks, Kate. Well, Billy Bingham has named his squad for their final European qualifier against Denmark in Odense on Wednesday week. And after that 2-1 win over Austria at Windsor last month, not surprisingly, just one change in the squad, with Luton's Philip Gray dropping out and Barnsley defender Gary Fleming coming in. Staying with soccer, Linfield remain top of the Smirnoff Irish League after the weekend matches. We have two games for you. In a moment, the champions Portadown. But first is Linfield Ballymena at Windsor Park.
Linfield's McGahey was first in the spotlight, raising aloft his award for a 300-goal milestone. And the Linfield striker was soon in the thick of the action. Grant in the way on a day when the keepers would excel. Then it was Beattie racing down the left. Again, Grant more than equal to the task. The Sky Blues suffered a blow before the interval, losing key defender Heron. Mind sub Lenihan almost broke the deadlock, his 30-yarder bringing a fingertip save from Patterson. It was better from Patterson to come after the break. Hagan denied from point-blank range by a superb reflex save. The vital strike came on 64 minutes. Ricks with the long-range shot, McGahey with a deflecting touch up and over Grant. 3-1 for McGahey, 1-0 to Linfield. But as sub McConnell soon discovered, the United keeper was not to be passed again. And the last word had to be with the keepers. Simpson's glancing header bringing out another fine save from Patterson. Small wonder the guardians of the goals jointly shared the Man of the Match award. The 1-0 to Linfield as the league leaders turn their attentions to the Budweiser Cup semi-final tomorrow night back at Windsor, this time against Cliftonville.
Meanwhile, the reigning champions Portadown kept up their challenge with a good away win at Omagh. The Ports were up.
At Mourneview, where Omagh beat Glentoran. Omagh opened the scoring in the third. They just couldn't beat Glen Livingstone again, and Omagh qualified for the final. At Windsor Park, it was 0 each between Linfield and Cliftonville with just a minute of extra time left when Mickey Donnelly scored for the Reds. But Linfield came straight back up the field and equalised through substitute Glenn Hunter. The hero of the subsequent penalty shootout was the Linfield goalkeeper Alan Patterson, who saved 4 Cliftonville efforts, first from Peter Murray and then from Keith Douglas. After 5 penalties each, it was 3-all. In sudden death, Patterson saved from Sean O'Kane. Linfield failed to close Cliftonville out, so Patterson had to save yet again, this time from Kieran Loughran. So the Blues skipper David Jeffrey put Linfield into the final on December the 4th, their first since the County Antrim Shield 2 years ago. Motorcycling, the Ulster Grand Prix.
Omagh Town reached their first senior final with a win over Glentoran.
It took Omagh just 3 minutes to post their intentions. Crilly with the flick and McCourt the finish. The striker would grab a second before the break. The Glens just couldn't get it going as McCartney was brought down the box. But from the penalty spot, Matheson sent it high, wide and handsome. Then with Omagh keeper Livingston way out of his goals, Matheson shot straight at defender McGuinness. He did make amends before the interval. McBride supplied the cross and Matheson the finish. 4 minutes after the restart, it was 3-1 to Omagh. Smith sent Donnelly flying, and player-manager McCready made no mistake from the penalty. The Glens got one back on 63 minutes. McCartney with the cross, Morrison with the time to make it count for 3-2. Glentoran redoubled their efforts as McCartney's header brought a great save from on-loan keeper Livingston, and then Morrison unleashed a rocket that cannoned off the crossbar. Near the end, with the keeper on the ground, there were heated exchanges in the Omagh goalmouth. The Omagh trainer indicating he'd been hit by a flying object. But with a 3-2 scoreline, Omagh were not to be denied the upset and their first crack at a major final.
At Windsor Park, the fans of Linfield and Cliftonville had a long wait for the real excitement and goals. In fact, the first one came in the last minute of extra time.
Cole Hamill takes it quickly. Jim McFadden. It's a good ball in. Donnelly! In the very last minute, Mickey Donnelly scores for Cliftonville. So an amazing finish, and it's not over yet. On by Baxter Hunter. There was even more drama to come in the penalty shootout. We join it at 6 each. Kieran Loughran then. It's 6-6. Here comes Loughran. Saved by the keeper. David Jeffrey steps forward. The Linfield skipper. Will he be the man to take his side into the Budweiser Cup final?
2 down in the Benson and Hedges Masters at Wembley to beat European Open champion Tony Linfield were at home to the champions. It was a match that Portadown needed to take maximum points from, and things got going at Windsor Park as early as the first minute. Bailey slipping through the pass to Glenn Hunter. A very good turn from him, a great shot as well, and it was nicely stopped by Keenan. Linfield, though, they lost the services of Lee Docherty after about 10 minutes, Stephen Beattie getting an early run out. On 22 minutes, John McConnell was booked for a deliberate handball. Not punishment enough as far as the Ports were concerned. Marty Russell it was who took the free kick. Stevie Cowan seemed to be free and easy to prod home his 22nd of the season. And it seemed that Linfield couldn't get to grips with Portadown's set pieces. Campbell hitting the side netting, again after Russell had set things up. And it was a Spears free kick in the second half that nearly let Linfield in. Jeffrey nodding the ball on to Beattie, who lobbed the keeper, but unfortunately for him, also the bar. 9 minutes from time, Linfield thought they'd shared it. A Dornan throw, a McGahey flick, and Ricky Wade was on hand to nod it in. Portadown's winner, a few minutes later, was a gift for Cowan and a nightmare for Spears. But what a vital goal it might prove to be at the end of the season.
Meanwhile, at the Ballymena Showgrounds, Linfield's title bid took a dive when they shared the points with United. However, it was the Dark Blues who took the lead in 5 minutes. Chance of the break on here for Lindsay Curry. Still going, Curry! And what a finish for the little fella who scores against his hometown club. Robert Craig. It's a good header, and it's in from Jason Gilmer. 12 minutes gone, it's 1 each. Robert Craig. Winger cuts inside, the 1-2 with Hardy, here comes Craig. Blocked by the keeper, and that was Stephen Beattie with the clearance. Craig found Davy Smith. Good turn, good ball, Canleish! Straight to Patterson. Curry confronted by Connolly. Curry still going, looks for McGahey. McGahey around the keeper. It's in the corner. It's through. Chance for the substitute, Moore. Can he get in there? He's touched it off. Here comes Canleish. Neil Canleish. 2 minutes left, and it's all square.
Thanks, Paul. Let's go straight to that soccer, and certainly an interesting draw in the semi-finals of the Bass Irish Cup, with Crusaders in against Linfield and Glenavon against Ballymena, or Oxford United Stars. The draw took place this afternoon at the offices of the Belfast Newsletter, with Linfield first out of the hat and drawn against Crusaders. That match to be played at the Oval on Saturday the 4th of April. Ballymena and Oxford Stars, who beat on St Patrick's night, have been pencilled in against Glenavon. That match at Windsor Park on Friday, April the 3rd. An interested spectator this afternoon, Crusaders boss Roy Walker.
It's 2 Belfast teams together. My initial thoughts coming here was that would have been a good final. Local clubs playing against each other, but we've got to be pleased.
You're very confident too, you don't mind who you play?
No, it doesn't really matter at this stage. 4 teams of equal ability, in my opinion, all capable of winning it.
And there's the situation at the top of the Irish League after last night's rearranged game between Linfield and Omagh. The Blues winning 7-1 and putting themselves into second place in the league. It was a night Omagh will want to forget, their biggest defeat since they joined the league. The scoring blitz began in the 29th minute. Glenn Hunter with a superb finish. 3 minutes later, Hunter got his second. The long free kick came to Bailey. His shot was blocked and Hunter was there with a simple tap-in. A minute later, it was 3-0. The Omagh defence in all sorts of trouble, and Lindsay Curry driving the ball to the net. On the stroke of half-time, Jeff Spears came up from the back to get the 4th for the Blues. 2 minutes after the restart, it was 5. Baxter with the cross and an excellent finish by Noel Bailey. Omagh pulled one back from substitute John Gregg after 65 minutes, but 5 minutes later Linfield again found the net, Curry setting up the chance for Ricky Wade. Curry got the 7th with 13 minutes left, a long ball out of defence. He was in space, he rounded Mark Duffy to slip the ball in for a magnificent 7.
We're one step closer to sorting out who'll pick up the major prizes this season with this afternoon's draw for the semi-final. Linfield moved into second place in the league last night with a flawless display against Omagh Town. Didn't look too serious for Omagh early on, Linfield waiting half an hour for their opener, courtesy of a fine volley by Glenn Hunter, but that unfortunately only opened the proverbial floodgates. There were 3 more to follow before half-time. Curry's cross flicked on to Wade, his shot pushed out, Hunter finishing easily. And he was online for his hat-trick. Duffy on his 3rd senior outing with the block, but there was Curry to finish easily. And just before the whistle, a free in the right. A nice loping header from Baxter. It wasn't held by Duffy. Jeff Spears this time on hand, yes, to finish easily. 2 minutes after the restart, Baxter, who'd been unlucky earlier, reckoned it wasn't to be his night. Right through, the keeper beaten and off the post. He made up for that miss, though, by setting up number 5, collecting from Hunter, an unchallenged run down the right. Time to look up and pick out Bailey. Yes, you've guessed it, he finished easily. Omagh lifted the gloom, the sleet was coming down by now, with a consolation, and a nicely worked one as well. McColgan, the mechanic, Patterson and Easton making a mess of things. Substitute John Gregg, believe it or not, finishing easily. No epic comeback, however. Ricky Wade emphasised that point with a deserved goal to make it 6-1. The best was kept to last, though. Beattie setting things up. A ball on the right coming through to Curry, who beat the offside trap to take the ball half the length of the pitch on his own before squeezing home from what was a tight angle.
Gibson Cup will soon be back in the boardroom at the Oval because Glentoran are now 11 points clear of nearest rivals Portadown with 6 matches left. I was in East Belfast on Saturday to see the champions-elect beat Distillery 3 goals.
Goal scorer Campbell laid it on. Substitute Marty McGee finished it off. That's his first league goal since November. Linfield drew level with 9 minutes to go. Beattie the provider, Curry with the touch, and Ricky Wade the scorer. But the Blues have now dropped to 3rd place in the league.
This time from Curry's corner.
Last night at the Oval, the Blues scoring all 4 goals. The first after Barry Meehan's 7th minute cross, Patterson palming the ball out only for Beattie to knee it across the line. Portadown had a couple of chances to extend the damage, the first from Fraser, and then Surgeon found himself in the clear, but he blasted wide. Linfield came back into the game with a sweet goal. Beattie picking up from Spears. He in turn found Ricky Wade, who beat half the Portadown team before slipping the ball home. Portadown nearly replied immediately. Fraser's effort acrobatically cleared by Easton. The move of the match was started and finished by Wade, and it involved a 1-2 with Baxter, but Keenan was equal to it. In the 76th minute, Linfield went ahead. The combination reversed. Wade's cross, Baxter with the finish. And the big number 10 got his 2nd of the night on the final whistle, this time neatly flicking in Curry's corner. Winning at Larne, Linfield needed something similar at Seaview to keep the race going for 2nd place. They've Glenn Hunter to thank, his couple bringing his tally and his club's unbeaten run to 13. His opener on 51 minutes from a Baxter cross.
That was just one of many cup games played over one of the busiest weekends of the year so far. It all began at Windsor Park in Belfast on Friday night when
Glenn Hunter. McKeown claims it, or has he? Baxter! It's in the net! Bailey, Beattie, Curry. He could be.
After a 2.5-year famine. Larne captain Wesley Hannah broke his nose in the league encounter on Saturday. His agony was confounded after a duel with Stephen Baxter led to the Linfield opener. A Curry free kick, Baxter and Hannah challenging. Hannah nods it into his own net 15 minutes into the game. The goal that clinched it came 17 minutes from time. The inevitable Martin McGackie latching onto a knockdown from Stephen Baxter, finding himself in space to drill the ball past Graham McConnell. Alan Dornan should really have made it 3 when he was released to run half the length of the pitch, only to see his effort going agonisingly past the post. A third came, though, and in the 97th minute. The referee very generous.
He brought down Shields, and Jackie Coulter made no mistake from the spot.
And Linfield were spot on at Windsor Park, beating their great rivals Cliftonville 3-0. Glenn Hunter put them on their way with this header after 20 minutes, which deflected past Rice to the net. 4 minutes before half-time, the points were in the bag when the impressive Lee Doherty fed Campbell and met his cross for a sweet goal. After that, we had the ugly face of Ulster Sport, with a section of the fans obviously not too concerned about the match. Although, to be fair, wiser heads within the crowd did get the situation settled. After 63 minutes came the third goal. Rice made a mess of the clearance, and Campbell's quick thinking even caught out our cameraman. 3-0 then to Linfield, and more cause for celebration. The star of the show for Bangor was keeper Stephen Eaches. This a super stop from Glenn Hunter. A minute into the second half, the game's only goal. Confusion in the defence, and big Roy McCready was there to make it 1-0. Linfield's best chance came 15 minutes from the end. This Raymond Campbell cross met by Hunter, but the bar was in the way. The points then to Bangor.
A point each at Shamrock. Hard to placate the board and supporters. Recent form has been poor, but it would be unfair to expect Trevor Anderson to be able to turn the Blues into a potent force overnight. After all, he only met the players formally yesterday evening.
Well, I'm not going to repeat that here, but they know what I want. I want the tradition brought back into the club. I want them proud to wear the blue jersey. I want them given 90 minutes for the club. But most of all, I want them to enjoy themselves.
So the new man has been installed, if only as caretaker at this stage. But is it a case of the king is dead, long live the king? Well, not quite.
Yes, Eric was on the phone with me yesterday, and he wished me all the best, which I thought was very nice of him. And
Edward Smith reporting. Boxing now, and the offers are pouring in for the new WBA world champion Crisanto Espana. And amongst those expressing interest is the
Elm on Saturday for what they hope would be a new beginning for the Blues.
Caretaker manager Trevor Anderson told us midweek he would try and rekindle the Linfield of old, and on Saturday against Carrick, the Blues' fighting spirit seemed to be back. Stephen Beattie-Cross set up their first goal, helped by a disaster in the Carrick defence, and Glenn Hunter turned well to score. Anderson was helped by the return of Philip Nell and John Easton, and the two combined to put the Blues 2-0 up. In the second half, Linfield continued to display the confidence which has been lacking in recent weeks. However, Glenn Hunter will be disappointed he didn't do better here. Senior coach Lindsay McKeown obviously knows what he should have done, and let's hope he told him after the game, because faced with the same situation 1 minute later, Hunter proceeded to do the same thing, out in the clear, and I'm not sure whether this was a back pass or a shot. Answers on a postcard, please. After the game, Anderson said he was happy with the win and praised Carrick for a spirited performance, but 18 minutes from time the Blues' victory was comfortable. A perfectly flighted cross by Robert Campbell and an acrobatic finish by Ian McCush. 3-0 to Linfield. At Seaview, Crusaders recorded their first victory over Glenavon in 3 seasons, and the Blues nearly took the lead 30 minutes into the second half, the post just keeping out Jonathan McGee's header. Linfield just couldn't find a way past keeper Robbie Beck, but nevertheless they still took the lead when Glenavon defender Michael McKeown nodded the ball into the top corner. Any striker would have been...
Super strike. Then it was Russell and Murray opening up the defence, and Fraser with the finish. He knows a bit about that, having scored 5 on Saturday. Then over to fellow Scott Cowan. This is the first of 4 goals on the night from him, and over a century for the club, 7-2, and Linfield's heavy
bullet from Brian Strain, the first of 4 Portadown goals that came directly from the quadrant. One of the exceptions was the Port second, and it was a masterpiece of creation. Martin Russell threaded the ball to Peter Murray, and Sandy Fraser simply continued on from Saturday when he scored 5 against Carrick. Poor old Stevie Cowan was feeling left out, so he decided that Tuesday would be his night. This was the first of 4. The match was over, or was it? Linfield came back after the break with a couple of replica goals, Greg Davidson's mistake, Lindsay Curry's enterprise, and Glenn Hunter's finish. A few minutes later it was Davidson's mistake, Curry's enterprise, and Hunter's finish. And if you think Linfield's goals were repetitive, watch Portadown's. 4-2 it was when Lamont boobed and the ball bobbled off Cowan's head. 5-2 soon afterwards from yet another corner. And now the quality of slapstick in the Linfield defence was becoming Chaplin-esque. strained the touch, Lamont hit the banana skin, and the Blues' embarrassment continued with Cowan's hat-trick, his 100th goal for Portadown. A late Cowan penalty made it 7-2. It beat Distillery on Saturday, but still strolled to victory. Robert Campbell scored the first after 37 minutes. Soon it was 2-0, a neat dummy, and an even neater finish from Philip Nell. Fullback Alan Dornan played a major role in Linfield's third and fourth goals. He made a powerful run here. Standoffish marking made his job easier, and Glenn Hunter scored with a clever header. And watch Dornan again here, moving at pace through the inside right channel, and again it was Glenn Hunter the finisher. 4-0 to Linfield. Across town, Glentoran were involved in a tight battle.
Leave the table looking like that, with just 2 games remaining. Crusaders actually led the championship race for a few hours after beating Larne, but in the evening, Linfield moved back to the top with a 3-1 win at Dixon Park.
Ballyclare have won just 2 league matches all season. Linfield need to win 2 more to lift the championship. But the Comrades made life hard for the Blues. It took a fine display of skill from Philip Nell to force Glenn McCartney into a crude challenge. It was a clear penalty. Desi Gorman scored with comfort, and after that you would have expected a side being touted as possible champions to overrun Ballyclare. It didn't quite happen that way. Indeed, the home side caused the Blues' defence some problems. In fact, Linfield didn't assert themselves until the cover of darkness arrived in the second half. 3 Linfield imports combined well. Jeff Twentyman found Desi Gorman, and his inch-perfect ball left Graham Harvey with just the keeper to beat, and that was Graham's 5th goal for Linfield. 2-0 might have been 3 when Twentyman had a shot cleared off the line, but in fact it proved to be the catalyst that led to Ballyclare's goal, and the Comrades showed that even sides in the humbling nether regions of the league can play some neat football. Their goal was craftily structured and involved no fewer than 5 players. Linfield allowed the men in red plenty of room in which to build, and in the end it was Dean Gordon who scored. It was 2-1. The points were made safe though 5 minutes from time when Glenn Hunter converted Martin Bailey's corner. Hunter, who scored the winner, folded.
A huge and expectant crowd of Blue men were to witness an amazing afternoon that had more twists than a Poirot thriller. The game began quietly. You certainly couldn't say the same about the match across town at Seaview. Kirk Hunter, never far from the headlines, punched Gareth Davis and was sent off. Roy Walker claimed that his man was provoked. Ards manager Paul Malone disagreed, but would Hunter's dismissal cost the Crews the title? Controversy has followed the midfielder all season. Referee Herbie Bard tried to exert a calming influence on the frustrated Walker. Things weren't going well for Crusaders at Seaview, but the Glens were doing them a favour at the Oval.
Good ball for Raymond Campbell, and that's for McCartney. Good save, Lamont. Then Torrent pressure. Johnny McCartney staying on his toes, and in comes Smith and Devine, and now it's Douglas, and it's McKeever, and off the line by Nell. McCartney, and Dornan gets it away. Twentyman. Kelly. Now Douglas can chase this one, and he's done well, Douglas. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Stephen Douglas. A fabulous finish. The goalkeeper, Lamont, absolutely stranded, and the Linfield fans are completely stunned.
Shortly after that Douglas goal, Crusaders took the lead too. A well-worked effort eventually finished by the influential Sid Burrows. And at this stage, Crusaders looked good for the title. Portadown, by contrast, were struggling and fell behind to a Tom Cleland goal. If that was the turning point at Ballyskea, then there was most certainly a moment of significance at the Oval. Ray Morrison's bad tackle ended John Easton's participation, and Linfield were forced to use sub Robert Campbell. He would have an influence eventually, but in the meantime the Blues had more Glens pressure to absorb.
Raymond Campbell takes on Robert Campbell, who's not a tremendously good defensive player, and Campbell! What a super save by Lamont. That's the second Very good save he's made in this match. Tommy Troughton with time, and Gary McCartney is onside, and the defence caught Noel Bailey back to help, and here's McCartney.
As Glentoran bombarded Linfield, Crusaders hammered at Ards. Barry Hunter came close to making it 2, but the match at the Oval was about to swing.
Jeff Twentyman make his presence felt this time, and there is Twentyman, but it's too far for him. Desi Gorman picks it up. Good ball for Campbell. Raymond Campbell comes across, and Glenn Hunter gets there. And Linfield are back on terms.
But as Linfield's title hopes were resurrected, Portadowns were dashed. Distilleries and Cleland second finished the Port's championship challenge. Darren Erskine was about to do the same to Crusaders' title hopes as 10-man Crews tired. A 78th minute goal made it Crusaders 1, Ards 1. Word quickly filtered back to the Oval, and Linfield responded with a crucial goal.
Jeff Twentyman is up again. In goes Twentyman. Good header, and it's in from Richie Johnson. And that might well be the goal. That seals the league championship for the Blues, and I think the crowd knows it.
The whistle blew minutes later. Linfield revelled in their newfound championship status. Only a mathematical freak can now prevent them from locking the Gibson Cup in the Windsor Trophy cabinet. It had been a truly incredible day. Heartbreak for some, glorious celebration for the Blues.
Khan has found early success as a manager.
And Portadown coming through again. This is Jackie Hutton putting one in. Bounce to Anderson!
Trevor Anderson making his mark early, and it wasn't long before the George Best lookalike was following his idol to Manchester United. During his time there, he got his Northern Ireland call-up. He went on to win 22 caps, scoring 4 international goals. He also had spells with Swindon and Peterborough, before coming home to Linfield in September 1979.
There was a couple of clubs, Cardiff and Carlisle actually spoke to me, but I felt it was the right move to come back to Linfield. Obviously, as a boy, I supported them, and I did want to come back to live here, and at the time, I just thought their move was right for me.
He stayed at Windsor for 7 years, playing over 300 games and just missed out on a century of goals. 6 league championship and 2 Irish Cup medals are just part of his success story, under the influence of the then Linfield manager, Roy Coyle.
Overall, probably the best days of my career were spent at Linfield, because we had terrific experiences, Europe and all the rest of it, league titles, and Mr. Coyle, my hero. To me, he's a great manager and always has been, professional, and I've tried to pick some of his ideas up, and other managers as well.
When the glory days were over as a player, Trevor was away from Windsor Park for 5 years, before returning in January last year as manager of the youth team. Come October, after Eric Bowyer's departure, he got his chance at Irish League management when things were at a low ebb.
I came in and had to do a job of trying to get confidence back, and trying to pick the best team. And I think along the way I've tried to pick teams that are going to win certain matches, which is doesn't go down too well with some supporters. But at the end of the day, I'm here to get results, and it's on my head.
When you came in at that time, what did you ask of the players?
Simply to go out and to give of their best and to play for the jersey. It's a big tradition to play for the jersey here, and the supporters demand it. There was a lot of young players who hadn't had the experience of the likes of Lindsay and myself, who had been here 10 years and knew exactly what it's all about. It is a big club and there's big demands.
Hand on heart, did you expect to be lifting up the league championship?
To be honest, no. But as time went on and we kept getting results, I knew we would be there at the end. We still haven't won it, and that's the way I'm approaching it. I think after the Crusaders games, we had 6 games, and people kept saying we've got to win the 6 of them. So it hasn't changed any, because I still want to win on Saturday.
Well, Trevor Anderson was certainly a very good player. Could it be even better as the boss? Well, tomorrow the Blues meet Portadown at Windsor Park, and as Trevor said there, the Blues trying to end on a high note.
That's in front of their own fans, of course. And I'd fancy Crusaders to clinch that runners-up spot with a win at Omagh. The Glenavon-Glentoran game, as you can see, is being played tonight. It's just started at 7:45. And what's going on at Glenavon at the moment? Chairman of old, would you agree with that?
It was the Linfield of old, and also Trevor Anderson was cute enough to bring in a couple of hard old pros, Harvey and Twentyman at the right time. They steadied the ship, and they'll get the reward this afternoon.
It's a pretty good substitution too in the match, and Twentyman in fact set up the goal that won the game and probably won the championship, Richie Johnson. But the
Nottingham Forest, following Clough's decision to retire at the end of this season. O'Neill had 10...
celebrated their first Irish League championship in 4 years. In the end, they won the title on goal difference. Crusaders had the major consolation of a place in the UEFA Cup. But Linfield didn't exactly celebrate in style their spot in the draw for the European Cup. They lost by 3-0 to Portadown. Mark was there.
32 minutes gone. Linfield 0, Portadown 0. And a rather low-key encounter this so far, as Stewart plays it in towards Casey, who wins it well. Now Fraser! And he has popped a few of the party balloons here at Windsor Park by putting his side in front. And to be honest, Portadown have looked the most likely side to score. Now Davidson brings it away for Portadown, a lead by 1-0. Cunningham on a run down the left-hand side, and a great run. He's beaten Dornan, and he's Fraser at the near post. And it's 2-0 to Portadown. And Sandy Fraser has scored both goals, and muted response, as you would expect from the Linfield fans. They think it's wonderful. Covered by Cunningham, and Cunningham has had a particularly good first half. Russell wants it short. Strains in the penalty area. Davidson has 3 choices here. Peebles, and a good chance here. 3-0. It's becoming a bit of a rout for Portadown. Quite incredible, really.
A bit of a hammering it may have been, but it didn't stop the Blues from unfurling their very own champions flag at the end of the game. They had to remove it from the dusty recesses of Windsor Park and also clear a space in the trophy cabinet. Dornan was the proud man who displayed the Gibson Cup to the Linfield faithful. In reality, the destination of the championship had been decided a week earlier, but elsewhere there were a couple of what do you put it down
at the weekend when all 3 games... Holmes Ulster rally. They always spray that stuff around, don't they? Well, in Gaelic game...
Darkley as well, Ian McCush. Up front, Richie Johnson has had an outstanding season.
Meanwhile at Seaview, no laughing matter for Glenavon, 1-0 down after 6 minutes. A neat build-up, Michael Cash's shot pushed home by former Blues man Glenn Hunter. 17 minutes gone, Glenavon are level. McBride super cross, and Glenn Ferguson with the header. Keeper McKeown could have done better. Minutes later, the Crews go back in front with new boy Steve Livingstone's strike. Mr. Livingstone, I presume, happy with the finish. And it was Livingstone again in the thick of the action. This a measured ball across and a simple finish for Jim Gardner. 3-1 at the break for the Crews. Into the second half, a lovely build-up by the Crews, and what a finish this from Glenn Hunter. 7 minutes from time, a consolation for Glen.
Final, they beat Larne 3-0 at Seaview in this evening's quarter-final match.
Crusaders are unbeaten this season and were determined to maintain that record with attack the first half keyword. Martin Murray's double strike after only 4 minutes almost bringing the first goal. That came only 7 minutes later, courtesy of Sid Burrows. Roddy Collins knocked the ball in from the right, and despite Stephen Livingston's missed kick, the Crews number 11 was able to reach the far corner. 1-0 to the Crews, and good work by Collins within a minute almost brought the second. Graham McConnell with the save. All eyes were on Crusaders number 5 Ray Duffy making his debut tonight, and though his right knee was heavily strapped, the big Dubliner had a sound game at centre back. Larne rarely looked like scoring. They were caught offside too often, and when they did get forward, the Crews defence was just too strong.
The Shore Road men had to wait until 15 minutes before the end before they sealed the game, but Stephen Livingston's super strike from outside the box was well worth waiting for. And 3 minutes later, substitute Glenn Hunter rubbed salt in the wound, latching onto a defensive mistake to score with virtually his first touch of the game. And the Crews play Portadown in the...
Crusaders covering well, though not so well on that occasion. Johnson for Keegan in the middle, and that's it.
Hello and welcome to another evening of European club football. This time it's Crusaders against the Swiss side Servette. And I'm sure, like me, it's difficult to believe that it's been some 17 years since Crusaders entertained the mighty Liverpool here at Seaview. That was 1976. The Crews were back in European action 4 years later in the Cup Winners' Cup against Newport County. They drew 0-0 at Seaview, having lost 4-0 in Wales.
Wiper. Return pass Gillespie does so. A lovely little touch to Nigel Vaughan, a quick ball in and a chance for Lowndes. Beautiful goal.
So tonight, Crusaders are bridging a 13-year European gap and they're looking for their first ever win in European competition. But let's not forget, they've never played before in this competition, the UEFA Cup. So can they start off with a win against Servette? Some of the answers from match commentator Jackie Fullerton, who begins with a look at the teams.
Well, part of that team news surrounds the Crusaders player-manager Roy Walker. At 35, he makes a comeback and a European debut. That's because the three foreigners rule has disrupted his side. A boost is the return of Kirk Hunter. He's in the middle of a 16-game suspension, but is available to play tonight. Walker will play alongside Glenn Dunlop in the centre of the Crusaders' defence, and the Crews will play a 4-4-2 formation with Jim Gardner and Glenn Hunter, the men up front. Servette, they're littered with Swiss internationals, and goalkeeper Pascolo and midfielder Orrell both played in the World Cup game against Scotland last week. And look out for the two Brazilians up front, Jose Sinval and the main man, Anderson de Silva. Referee tonight from Iceland, second year on the FIFA list, is Mr. Gudmundur Mariasson. So after a 13-year absence, the Crews are back in Europe. It's their 11th game in Europe, but their first in the UEFA Cup. For Servette, 66th game in Europe for them, and a 27th appearance in the UEFA Cup. That shows the difference in experience. Free kick given as Anderson de Silva, there he is. Top scorer in Switzerland last year with 20 goals, and very much the danger man. This is Aby. Oh, that's a good ball looking for Orrell. And it stays in. Good cross, but that's Dunlop with the header. And he had to be sharpish. A very good sweeping move there by the Swiss. So this is the other Brazilian, 26-year-old Jose Sinval. Small and skillful, I'm told. They call him the Little Diamond. Will he sparkle tonight? Crusaders will be hoping not. That's barbarous, the cross. Two men in there, the flag stayed down, and the goal kick given. Livingston knocks it down the line. Can Burrows pick it up? Surrounded by white shirts. Now it's Livingston's turn. All in a bit of a tangle in there, but Servette come away. Barbarous, and there's the challenge from Burrows. Servette switch it. De Silva. Oh, good ball. Orrell hits it first time. That's Dunlop. Oh, off the head of Sinval. And my goodness, Dunlop did well to get the clearance, but straight into the path of Sinval. There's the flick from Anderson to Silva. Orrell's cross. Dunlop's clearance. And with McKeown out, just over. Glenn Hunter bundled over by Orrell. Here's Walker. Long ball. Kirk Hunter goes in. Glenn Hunter tries to get in there, but Pascolo out very quickly. And a long kick looking for Anderson, and he could well do. A chance here for the Brazilian. And he didn't take it. And he knows it. Top scorer in the Swiss League last season, I said earlier, with 20 goals. He's obviously a good finisher, but not this time. Livingston nods it forward. Can Gardner get it to Kirk Hunter? Kirk goes down and wins the free kick. Bundled over there by Barbaras. And Big Kirk makes his way forward. But here's Barbaras again, 21-year-old. There's the pace of Anderson. But Glenn Dunlop doing the covering job on the Brazilian. Oh, this is Neville trying to cut his way through. Just 20 years of age. Off the chest of Livingston. A swirling breeze here tonight at Seaview. Not making things particularly easy for the players. Duchesal had to turn but got the header in. Long ball from Avey, and it's a good one. Here's Sinval. Orrell made ground inside. Still going, the Brazilian, brought down by Burrows. And this could be a dangerous place for a free kick for Crusaders. And they obviously don't call him the little diamond for nothing. Very skillful, good control. So it looks like number 9, Anderson, may be lining this one up with the left foot. He did. Oh! And Kevin McKeown did well, kicking the ground there. On a night like this, greasy surface, plenty of power, and ricocheted off the keeper. An anxious moment for Kevin McKeown. Sinval to take it, but much too long, and a poor corner kick in the end. Orrell being hustled, and Crusaders win the throw-in. It's off the feet of Hunter. Here's Michael Cash. Always likes to get forward, Michael Cash. Usually plays in midfield. But playing at the moment, the start of the season, at fullback. Livingston. Martin Murray. Down the line. And Crusaders have another throw. Then Hunter leaves it for Livingston. That's barbarous to get it out. Well cut out by the player manager, Walker. Forward by Martin Murray. Lawler will settle for the throw. Looks to take it quickly. Gives it to Walker. Kurt Hunter beaten, and the white shirts move forward. Good run here from Anderson. Checks inside. Oh, the header from Neville. The flag is up. It won't count. But once again, all the signs are there of just how good this Swiss side can be. Checked inside. Crossed it first time. He didn't miss it, but just offside. This is Burrows. That's Jarowski. Won by Walker. Forward by Dunlop. Jarowski had to think about it. The keeper had to kick it. So a good period for Crusaders as Cash brings it forward. This is Orrell. And Walker across very quickly. A couple of strong challenges there as Sinval goes down. Play goes on. Burrows. Glenn Hunter in the middle. And the keeper had to flick it past for the corner. The threat coming from that man there, Glenn Hunter. And the keeper taking no chances at all. So Sid Burrows across as the Seaview roar comes up. Burrows with the kick. But a disappointing one it was. Possibly looking for the in-swinger. Sid Burrows, 29-year-old. And he's played 4 times in Europe before with Linfield. Won by Dunlop. Neville, very quick Neville. But control letting him down. Avey, he saw Kirk Hunter coming there and got out of the way quickly. And Kirk on a charge. And again, off his chest. Crusaders switch it. Cash. Through the middle. Jarowski, that's a good ball. Finds Avey. And that looked almost like a good ball, but cut out by Lawler. Ball from Glenn Dunlop, just too long for Glenn Hunter. But he's having a good game, Glenn Dunlop, in front of the watching Partick Thistle manager. Hunter with the free kick had been given for the foul on Livingston. And Kirk making an entrance there, and the crowd loving it. Lawler to take it. Glenn Hunter on the move up front. That's off the head of Kirk Hunter. Foot up from Sautier. Yes, the referee, the linesman, a bit of confusion, but it's a free kick to Crusaders. Taken quickly. Jim Gardner couldn't get in there, neither could Glenn Hunter. And I have to say, Jarofsky on his way out appeared to step on Glenn Hunter, and Jim Gardner is none too happy. Hunter was going in for the challenge. As he lay on the ground, Jarofsky appeared to step on the back of his head. Well, there's the move. Let's see if we can see this now. And there it was. As Sautier gets it forward. Cash should pick this up. Burrows tries to make his way forward. Sinval, a nice flick. And here comes Orrell. We haven't seen him for a while. And he's taken out by Glenn Dunlop. And quite a heavy challenge coming up here from Dunlop. Yes, right across the left ankle. Well, Crusaders are back in Europe, and one fan is certainly celebrating in style and a bit of colour. Crusaders have yet to make a real threat as Anderson turns well. And Walker did well to cut that out because Aby and Neuville were both forward. Livingston just couldn't keep it in. But Roy Walker, he'll certainly be proud of his men in this opening 45 minutes. That's good play by Murray. Cash charges forward. Down the line is Gardner. Cut out by Chapoul. And here's Aby. 1 minute of time added on so far. Orrell first time ball, but there's Dunlop again. Strong challenge from Duchesal, who's got a reputation of being a hard man, the number 6. Jarofsky. Sinval. Orrell. That's forward by Jarofsky, but the flag is up for offside. Aby just on the far side. The referee brings the first half to an end. It's been a good effort by Crusaders. As I was saying, he'll certainly be pleased. They haven't threatened Servette, but they've kept them out. Servette did get a goal disallowed, so at half-time it's still 0-0. So away we go in the second half. Servette's 6th time to play a British club. Their only win was over Linfield. Defeats by Aberdeen, Liverpool, Cardiff and Derby County. And Servette's best in Europe. They were twice in the quarter-finals of the Cup Winners' Cup, 1967 and 1979. And their best in this tournament, the UEFA Cup, they reached the 3rd round in 1982. This is Sautier. Still going, the fullback. Here's Aby. Nice touch from Anderson. And the chase is on for Gardner against Sheeppool. Gardner winning. Did well to keep control. And has he won the corner? He has. Good play from Jim Gardner. So Sid Burrows to take the kick. Crowded goalmouth as Glenn Dunlop makes his way up. Swings it in. Kirk Hunter trying to get in there. Just couldn't keep it down, Kirk Hunter. But still looking quite fit. He hasn't played this season, of course, because of that domestic suspension. and put off at the end. Sheffield to take the kick instead of his keeper. Murray, good turn. Cash is available. Burrows. Looked for Cash again. Confronted by Jarofsky. That's off Cash. The ball is still in play. Burrows gets the cross in. Plenty of men in the middle. One of them's Kirk Hunter. Losing out in the air. And a chance here. The quick break is on for Servette. Sinval. Anderson over this side. This could be dangerous. And Anderson going through. The referee spotted that. Crusaders not too happy with that challenge by the Brazilian. And I think it's Roy Walker that's down. And a yellow card for the Brazilian. And there he is, studs up, and that was a sore one. But Roy Walker was telling me, even on a sunshine holiday, he took the training gear with him, he got fit, and he says he's the fittest he's been for many years. And he's certainly looking very trim indeed, and having a good game in the heart of that defence alongside Glenn Dunlop. This is Walker. Off the head of Sautier. And the crowd surrounding me here in the grandstand at Seaview, urging the red and black shirts forward. Gardner playing cat and mouse with Sheffield. Gardner. And the corner kick given. Sheffield. Bit dramatic there, but he can't believe it. But good play from Gardner. Attacking the Shore Road end. Burrows to take it. Good deep ball. Through in Crusaders. Livingston to take it. But this is Orel. Aby to pick it up. There's the flick. Good first time ball. Aby gives chase. Neville is in the middle. Lets it run for Anderson. It could be dangerous. Good save, McKeown. And the corner given. But from one end of the pitch to the other. Good ball in. Neville, there's the dummy. It ended up with Anderson. Quick shot, but a good save by the keeper. We're red, we're black. In Europe, we're back. Euro Tour of '93. Well done, nice poster. Good control from Burrows. On by Gardner. Glenn Hunter in quickly, but Servette get it out again. Aby, he's worked very hard in the midfield. Here comes Lawler. But obstruction, clear obstruction there from Sautier. So taken quickly, Lawler, plenty of Crusaders men forward. Kirk Hunter in with the header, just over the top. And that's where he's very dangerous. Good free kick, Hunter at the back post. But he just couldn't keep it down. But Servette finding it difficult to pick up Hunter. Oh, this could be dangerous here. Gardner, Glenn Hunter is in the middle. The ball charged on, and here's Sautier. Anderson dummied it, but then ran into Lawler, and here's Livingston. Gardner. Murray. Lawler. And Hunter couldn't just reach it, and this is barbarous. The flag is up, and Anderson was offside.
despite his protestations. And a bit of booing for Anderson da Silva after that quite crude challenge on Roy Walker, for which he received a yellow card. Lawler takes it quickly. Livingston. Kirk Hunter. Gardner's there. The looping header. But Pascola has it. But a very interesting, a very good period from the Crews. Anderson got the bounce there. Here's Dunlop. On by Glenn Hunter. And that's Sheppool to get it away. Gives it away, though, to the other number 4, Dunlop. The run from Glenn Hunter. Tried to control it with his head, unlucky. But the crowd appreciating this from Crusaders. Here's Lawler. Chance to get it in, and he takes it. Cash gives chase. Still with it, Cash. Settles for the throw. Burrows finds Gardner. Burrows and unlucky. Off his foot. Goal kick to the Swiss side. Just over 25 minutes left of the Schufa Cup tie at Seaview. Still await the first goal. Still an interesting game. It's died a bit in the second half. And Anderson having more words with the referee. He'll have to be careful, having already been booked. Scolo, left-footed. Won by Dunlop. Saw it, kept his eye on it and got it forward. And the throw-in goes to Crusaders. The fans here would give anything for a Crusaders goal. This is Sinvaldo to bring it out for Servette. What a bad ball. Walker could come right for Livingston. Just couldn't get the touch on for Glenn Hunter. Duchosal. And here's Jurovsky. Forward by Aby. Michael Cash. McKeown will have to kick it. Did well there at that angle with his right foot. Burrows. Burrows again. Murray to Livingston. Good ball from Dunlop. That's good play from Gardner, but he sold Lawler a bit short. Referee plays the advantage. It was a free kick, but we play on. But once again, that's a bad ball from Sautier. He's had the chance to deliver good crosses, and he hasn't done it as yet, the fullback, who's won a couple of international caps. The Swiss side, of course, full-time professionals. And in these games, they can keep going. But Crusaders are keeping going at the moment through Glenn Hunter. And the keeper had to be sharp. I was about to talk about the difference in level of fitness. Well, it was certainly Glenn Hunter showing the fitness and the pace. And the international keeper read it well. And that was a good save. Neville, oh, lovely dummy there from Anderson. And here come the white shirts now. Neville gives it to Sautier. The low ball in. Anderson just couldn't get there, but put that down to another fine tackle from Dunlop. Dunlop still down after the challenge, but he had to be quick. Mallon has moved into the central defender's role, the unenviable task of trying to keep tabs on Mr. Anderson. Barbaras can't get there, beaten by Lawler. Glenn Hunter looks forward for Gardner. Just taken away, though. And at times, Servette passed the ball so well. But I have to say, I'm a bit surprised. They haven't really given it a go tonight. They haven't really pressurized Crusaders as much as I would have thought. But then the second game, 2 weeks' time, they might raise it a gear. Michel Pont, the assistant manager of Servette, was telling me today he watched Crusaders a couple of weeks ago, 0-0 draw against Distillery here, and he said for part-timers they impressed him because they passed the ball. They just didn't hit the long ball, which is the typical British game as he sees it. And he knew that the crews would make it difficult for them, and that's the way it's turned out so far. So McKeown to launch a long one. Livingston couldn't get there. Gardner does. Servette to break. This looks like Sinval, forward left-footed. Good ball, Lawler under it. Completed by Cash. Here's Burrows. Murray, good run from Murray, still going. Finds Burrows. And here's Mallon. The noise comes up from the crowd, plenty of men up front. Murray to pick it up. Livingston. Cash yelling for it. Receives. Across with his weaker foot, Michael Cash, and it wasn't a good one. Bad ball, and here's Burrows. Just couldn't get it through first time to Glenn Hunter. Hunter tried the shot off Barbaras, and AB gives it to Orrell. Sinval. Sautier. Sautier just didn't read the 1-2 from Neville. And it all comes to nothing. Murray. That's a good ball, finds a way through. But there's the interception from Jurovsky. He's given it away, though. And Crusaders have it again. The crowd urging them forward. Gardner gets under that. Here's Hunter. Oh, he hits it, but into the crowd. But there's always that air of expectancy when Kirk Hunter gets the ball, and he can hit them from this range, but he couldn't find the goal mouth. But to be fair, the crowd here, I haven't seen too many people leaving. And they're staying to the end, no doubt, to pay tribute to the men in the striped shirts. That's Orrell and Servette in no hurry at all. We have another substitution here right at the death. That's Number 3, Cash, going off. And number 12 is Stephen Lynch. Stephen Lynch, who was a substitute at Coleraine on Saturday. Thought the referee had blown up for time there, but it was offside again. We've now played 2 minutes of time added on in the second half by Mr. Mariusson. Forward by Burrows. Is there a sting in the tail right at the finish? There's not. And Pascolo will hit it long. Murray couldn't control it. Gets another chance though. Dunlop gives it to Mallon. That's forward by Chapeau. Mallon will have to be careful. Anderson lurking. Off the head of Livingston. Young man who'll have enjoyed this experience. Just established himself in the Crusaders team this year. He's played in all 7 games. That's Sinville to get Knockett forward. Once again, Crusaders get it out. Hunter crowded out. Here's Aby. Orrell charging down that right flank as he's done most of the evening. Here's Neuville. Very fast player, Neuville. Bit of argy-bargy with Mr. Lynch. Sinval, as the referee brings it to an end. A very interesting and quite an entertaining game, and a generous round of applause for both sides, and I would say in particular for Roy Walker's Crusaders team. They've done themselves an Irish League proud. Glenn Hunter had a chance, the keeper did well to save, but it's 0-0, the second leg to come in 2 weeks' time. Final score, as the crowd show their appreciation, Crusaders 0, Servette 0.
We were disciplined, kept our shape throughout the game, worked very hard, and we're pleased that it's a goalless draw.
How do you feel you compared with Servette in terms of both skills and indeed overall fitness?
I think they're technically better players than we are, without doing ourselves any injustice. But we battled hard, we've trained hard up their training for this game, and I think, to be fair, now they're just a yard quicker than us all round. But sometimes big hearts make up for lack of fitness.
In the first half, you did get caught almost cold a couple of times.
Yes, the first 20 minutes were difficult. They came and I felt that they were looking for an early goal, and we rode our luck a little, it's fair to say. Kevin made one good save that I can recall from a free kick. But after that, I think their chances were limited, as indeed were our own now, but we can't complain.
The last part of the first half and the opening part of the second half, you seemed to take the game to them.
Yes, got a few corner kicks, and probably a little bit disappointed that we didn't get enough pressure in the 18-yard line. But the ball didn't run for us a few occasions, maybe with a bit of luck. You never know what might have happened, but nonetheless, it was a spirited performance.
Realistically, how much more do you feel that they will have left for the game in Switzerland in a fortnight's time?
Well, this is the big question. You tend to ask yourself upon reflection, you know, have they another gear in which they can produce? But the onus is on them. Now, they've got to go and win the game. Now, that means that they should come and try and come at us from the word go. You know, stranger things have happened in football. I wouldn't like to predict the outcome over there, but we'll go and try and keep our discipline as we did tonight and give a good account of ourselves.
So look at tonight's UEFA Cup results. Bohemians
after the Middle East peace agreement was signed on the White House lawn. And that's Monday's early evening news. Until 5:40 tomorrow. Bye-bye.
good evening. Well, it's been quite dangerous weather around this evening. Some heavy rain and local flooding in Humberside and Yorkshire in particular. And further to the southeast and southeastern parts of England, heavy thunderstorms have brought similar conditions. So if you are out driving or about to go, do take care. Now here's the culprit for all these problems. There's the low pressure in the channel, drifting only very slowly eastwards, the front bringing the heavy rain and the thunderstorms to the south, and with it, a biting, rather cold wind. Now through the night tonight, things changing only very slowly. Further heavy showers in the south. Still that rain, particularly across northeastern parts of England and over the Pennines, where it's likely to be heavy. But further to the west, things somewhat drier, somewhat clearer, but even here there's likely to be a few showers. So tomorrow that area of rain persisting, I think, through much of the day. Still some quite heavy rain. To the south and to the west, somewhat brighter weather. Not that bright, though probably the best of the brightness in northwestern Scotland. But even there, likely to see plenty of showers. Some of them, once again, will be heavy, perhaps even thundery too. Temperatures, well, it's a cold day, a raw day, still with a strong northeasterly wind, so the best you're going to see is about 16, which is 61 degrees Fahrenheit, and that low moving away only very, very slowly. In the outlook, well, there's the low, it's still there, the front's still with us across central parts of England there, and that's likely to mean that there'll be further quite heavy rain across the northeast, I think, for the next day or two. Things brighter to the west and showery, certainly showery down in the south, but slowly but surely, towards the end of the week, you'll find much of the rain dying out, things becoming drier and brighter, and temperatures will making a very, very slow recovery. 15 or 16 is a degree or so either side of 60 Fahrenheit.
An ITV movie premiere. Last Christmas, Bruce Willis demolished a tower block full of terrorists. This year, he's opted for an airport under siege.
Please respond. Nothing, the whole network is down.
We've got you. His wife held hostage.
Gentlemen, we have a situation here. You're the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time. Freedom.
Not yet. You can seem to have the same guy twice.
Bruce Willis, Die Hard 2, Thursday at 9 on ITV.
Festival at just £6,995. Never judge a book by the cover. Northern Ireland Ford dealers, welcome to a great deal.
In poor visibility, you must use dipped headlights. Lighting up saves lives.
If you're looking for a great deal on your motor insurance, there's no need to chase around. Just pick up the phone and call 0247 810081, the L. Hughes and Company quote line. A more sensible way to arrange motor insurance.
Unusual chirping from your smoke alarm? Change the batteries. It could mean the difference between life and death.
Remember the story of Cain and Abel? Well, I know that feeling. Tell me I'm hallucinating. Tell me this isn't my Tigers shirt. You stole it. Look, mud, mayonnaise, burger, ketchup. And what's this?
My bike broke.
Dirty oil.
For goodness sake, stop it.
Ruined.
That won't shift. But, Mom, this improved aerial says it does shift oil stains.
Creep.
We can but try.
New improved Ariel Ultra's got revolutionary oil dispersants. Watch what they do after you've been using it. Both these pieces of polyester have been...
In 40 minutes, Dr. Jonathan Sachs, the Chief Rabbi, reflects on the Jewish New Year festival, Rosh Hashanah.
Good evening. The Israelis and the Palestine Liberation Organization put their names to the peace accord, which could hail a new era for the Middle East. Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat shake hands on the deal on the lawns of the White House. In the Middle East, celebration
internationals and will be a stern test for Roy Walker's team.
Servette arrived at the international airport this morning after an indifferent start in their domestic league. They won their opening 4 league games, lost 3 and drew on Saturday. But despite that, they're confident of getting a good result over the Crews. Their chairman is Jean-Michel Berkovitz.
First of all, we are very pleased to play our first match international in Ireland. We didn't play international since 5 years, and to start with Ireland is a great pleasure for us.
Have you seen Crusaders play?
Yes, we sent one man, the joint trainer, the second trainer. He came to play, to see you playing a week ago.
And what did he come back and say? Was he impressed?
He was really impressed because he expected something very, very English, and you play more on the ground without very high balls. And the technique of 2 or 3 players was very impressed, yes, to see.
Included in the Servette lineup are 2 players who started against Scotland in last week's World Cup game. Pascallo, the goalkeeper, and Ockrell, who plays in midfield. Defender Oakley is out because of injury. Despite that, it's a star-studded lineup. They expect to win, but like all professionals, won't take it lightly at Seaview.
We respect very much your team. We have a lot of respect, and I think it will be a difficult match to play, and the players expect to play against a strong team.
Crusaders prepared for tomorrow's game with a convincing away win in the Gold Cup. Their first chance came when Sid Burrows was caught in a Coleraine sandwich. Penalty, said the man in black. But the filling didn't score. Davy O'Hare, who had a good deal of misery ahead of him, saved the shot. We received indication that O'Hare was in a sluggish mood when this apparently harmless effort found Davy in the slumber zone. And from the corner, the Crews took the lead. O'Hare flapped, Glenn Hunter connected, 1-0. Crusaders didn't look too convincing at the back either on occasion, especially here when 2 defenders unwisely stood off Derek Cook, the result a free shot and an equalising goal. Well, then the ball magically appeared from behind the floodlight. Coleraine didn't see it, Hunter did. He picked up on another O'Hare horror soon afterwards. Perhaps he had taken a cup of hot milk instead of tea at half-time, and that was Glenn Hunter's hat-trick. A fourth was to follow when Colerane's park pitch defending let the striker in, and Glenn must have booked a place in the side to meet Servette. Thankfully, Glenn is a local. The foreign player rule doesn't affect him, but generally it's hitting Crusaders hard.
Prior to signing our latest acquisitions from Dublin, we had 5 so-called foreigners on our books. Kevin McKeown in goals and 4 outfield players. Now, I can tell you now that Kevin's a starter, so that means that only 2 from the other 4 will be able to play. But that was the rules when we were getting into the competition, so we have no problem with that.
What about speculation that Kirk may be brought back in again? He is eligible for this match, although he's not able to play in domestic soccer.
Kirk's in the squad. He'll be stripped. We'll sleep on it and we'll decide what best way we can perm the team to optimise our own performance. I would think Kirk could participate at some stage.
What do you want from the game with Servette at Seaview?
I want the fans to enjoy themselves. I want the players who got us there last year to perform and to do their best. And we look for no more than trying to play well, trying to entertain our own fans, give them something to shout about. I think it's fair to assume we'll not win the UEFA Cup, but we're in the...
This afternoon, won't qualify. Meanwhile, the Spaniards claimed before today's game that an agent for the Albanians tried to reach an agreement over the result. Now, last night, Crusaders, they reached the first cup final of the local season. They beat Portadown 1-0 at the Oval, the first defeat for Ronnie McFall's men in 9 games.
First chance of the game fell to Glenn Hunter on 3 minutes. A good chance as well, but the Crusaders striker hit the side netting. At the other end, goalkeeper Kevin McKeown was in fine form. This from Tony Gorman's free kick was just one of several good saves. In the second half, Hunter's cross, Roddy Collins' header, Keenan beaten but the wrong side of the post.
4 men in the penalty area, and Sid Burrows, who's a great crosser of the ball. That wasn't one of his better ones. And Stewart for Collins, who stays onside. And Burrows calls for it. And an early chance for Hunter. There's Stewart, Craig Davidson. Casey in the penalty area. But Davidson might go on his own here. And it's Gorman. Great save by Kevin McKeown. Philip Major, the inevitable Brian Strain, is in the penalty area. It goes in towards Strain, but it's now Fraser. What a great turn that was. The marker was Glenn Dunlop, but Fraser's skill was excellent there. And a nice bit of football from Portadown. Portadown have had most of the chances in this first half, and it's not hard to predict what's going to happen here. Oh, great save by McKeown. And that is the second super save from a long-range effort by Tony Gorman that McKeown has had to make. This is Joey Cunningham, and that's not a good ball. Livingston, Collins and Burrows, and that's a superb ball for Glenn Hunter, and Livingston wants it played in front of him, and Hunter's decided to hold it up, and the cross comes in to Collins, and so close for Crusaders. This is now Martin Murray. And it could drop for Hunter. What a great save by Mickey Keenan. And it was a good first-time volley from Glenn Hunter, which forced an excellent save. Stewart keeps it in, but gives it away to Livingston. And Keenan drops it. And Hunter gets the goal. Crusaders take the lead, and that is Glenn Hunter's 8th goal of the season, and it was a slightly fortunate ricochet in the end, but this game needed a goal, and now it's got it.
But unfortunately there weren't any more, and Crusaders went through. Well, Belfast boxer Sam Story hopes to come through tonight. He continues his comeback in London.
Tonight, having held them to a goalless draw in the first leg 2 weeks ago. We'll have the latest team news from Geneva in a moment, but first let's look at some of the highlights from that first match.
Da Silva. Oh, good ball. Orrell hits it first time. That's Dunlop. Oh, off the head of Sinville. So it looks like number 9, Anderson, may be lining this one up with the left foot. He did. Oh! And Kevin McKeown did well. Good run here from Anderson. Checks inside. Oh, the header from Neville. The flag is up. It won't count. Play goes on. Burrows. Glenn Hunter in the middle.
2 weeks ago, the Crews performed well, but Servette showed enough touches at Seaview to suggest tonight will be a different story. So much so, the Crews leave out their top scorer, Glenn Hunter, and Kirk Hunter is one of a 5-man midfield. The tactical plan is one of caution. Servette are on £1,000 a man and expect to win by an avalanche of goals. Crews player manager Roy Walker feels his side can cause an upset.
But Desi Gorman can claim that record tonight as he put Linfield ahead after only 16. And that indicated what was to be a fast and furiously contested game, although the second goal didn't come until the second half. Stephen Beattie the scorer for the Blues. Crusaders' riposte was almost immediate. Look out for ex-Blue Glenn Hunter, the sole Crews player in the box. A splendid back flick from him clawed a goal back. Ian McCush uncharacteristically played in the centre of Linfield's defence, and on a rare visit up front, he restored Linfield's 2-goal lead. Linfield always appeared dangerous on the break, and Desi Gorman here latched on to a Philip Nell long ball and chipped Kevin McKeown to put the Blues 3 ahead. 8 minutes later, Gorman again on a fast break sealed his hat-trick, and Ian Wright's shuffle and shot made it 5-1.
Where, we know when, could have been the post-match song after Tuesday's Ulster Cup final, which the Crews won thanks to this wonderfully crafted Glenn Hunter goal. Burrows, Hunter! What a beautifully worked goal by Crusaders that was! The two sides, Crusaders and Bangor, play again tomorrow, and Bangor, who might have stolen a late equaliser, will have to stick the celebratory chants of the Seaview supporters. And they'll cheer even louder, no doubt, when this man returns. Tomorrow sees the completion of Kirk Hunter's 16-match ban, and he'll be available for next Saturday's game at Portadown. The side they're all trying to catch is Linfield. The victory over Omagh Glenavon had fortune to thank for their first goal. Glenn Ferguson's free kick deflected past Lamont by the unfortunate John Easton. Ferguson claimed it, but there's no doubt that the ball would not have gone in if it hadn't come off Easton's head. But Glenavon's second was more of the classic variety, a wonderful build-up. Glenavon, who had made an insipid start, were now settling into a rhythm and played the sort of measured, attractive football that is their trademark. Glenn Ferguson was definitely the last man to touch the ball this time for his 13th goal of the season. It looked as if Glenavon would take a 2-0 lead into the break, but Raymond Campbell wasn't thinking that way. Campbell displayed his superb range of skills to ghost past the Glenavon defence, although Robbie Beck must be disappointed that he didn't stop the ball trickling in. Campbell, who has had a frustrating time injury-wise since he joined the Blues, showed the ability that we all know he has to score his first goal for the club. Linfield's comeback was completed just after half-time when Gary Peebles was fouled in the box by Dean McCulloch. Herbie Barr gave the penalty and Gary Haylock struck the ball, which struck the post, and it was 2 each. But Glenavon, all credit to them, then began to play some great stuff. Ferris headbutted Dornan in the chest. Dornan went down immediately, and there was no argument with Ferris's dismissal. Why Dornan then followed is a mystery to me. He did nothing during the initial clash, and I didn't see anything afterwards that could have been described as a sending-off offence. Linfield feel there are grounds for appeal, but no one could excuse what followed. A number of bottles which came.
Carrick are currently the worst defensive side in the league, and Portadown proved exactly top of the league.
Crusaders also inflicted severe damage on the Omagh defence this time, winning 3-0, and the opener was a tribute to the strength of Jim Gardner, who powered his way through to score. And the second showed that power is not essential. Once more, the build-up was neat and tidy, unlike Stephen Livingston's hair, but it stayed out of his eyes long enough to allow him to score. And locks flowing, it was Livingston who helped create the third. More good preparation work and a good cross. Glenn Hunter scored his 14th of the season.
Glentoran's start to the season hasn't pleased their support, but tension was relieved with a 2-0 win against Ards. Gary Smith scored. At St Julian's Road.
Crusaders stay in third after a 3-1 victory over Larne. Glenn Hunter began the scoring after 12 minutes. It really was a neatly taken effort by the Crews, number 10. And it was number 2 from this free kick from Robbie Lawler. A thunderous kick, a cruel deflection, agony for Larne, but ecstasy for Lawler. After 20 minutes, it was 3-0. Hunter again involved. He moved inside. The ball was blocked, but Hunter was first to react, and it was easy in the end for Crusaders.
League champions Linfield bounced back to 4.
Ray Park, Robbie Collins opening the floodgates. Then it was all-action skipper Sid Burrows who clipped in the second. Collins marked his return to the Seaview fold with a second goal, and all that with only 22 minutes gone. Andy Beattie pulled one back for Ards in the 23rd minute, but the game was all over as a contest before the break. And it was Glenn Hunter who hit the Crews fourth just after the hour. Ards battled bravely on, and the home fans got some consolation when substitute David Straney netted in the 84th minute.
Collins laid it off, and Stephen Livingstone finished accurately. And 4 minutes from time, Glenn Hunter added the second, heading in Sid Burrows' corner.
Bourne who opened the scoring against Crusaders. Jerry McCabe, the man with the vision and the perfect pass for Egan Morrison. and the captain of the Glens with a cool finish. The Crews levelled just before the break. Yet again another great goal, and what a brave finish from Glenn Hunter. Hunter showing all the qualities of this Crusader side. The finish needed no small amount of skill. Crusaders went ahead in the second half with this header eventually coming off the crossbar, and Robbie Lawler was there with the decisive nod. Then it was the turn of the veteran Sid Burrows. Moved into the middle and let fly from 25 yards. Burrows at his best, but there must be question marks over keeper Gracie. Glentoran did hit back his second, 6 points off the pace.
At New Grosvenor, Coleraine were 2-0.
Down 2 in extra time in last night's semi-final at Ballyskay. It was Bangor who took the lead 4 minutes into the second half of last night's game. McCallan eventually bundling the ball over the line after Crusaders keeper Kevin McKeown had saved his initial shot. But then Glenn Hunter fooled our cameraman and Stephen Aitchison the Bangor goal with a magnificent long-range effort, and that sent the match into extra time. It was another spectacular Crusaders goal which put Roy Walker's side 2-1 in front, this time a 20-yarder from the left foot of Martin Murray. But before the fans had time to celebrate properly, Bangor were back in level terms. Johnny McGee's looping header beating the defenders to make it 2-2. The match seemed to be heading for penalties when Murray got his second for Crusaders. When the corner came across, 8 Bangor players in the 6-yard box couldn't stop Murray getting the final touch to send Crusaders into the final.
Bangor in the second semi-final last night, a match which went to the wire and produced 3 goals in action-packed extra time. Bangor got the ball rolling on the goal front in the second half, the tricky David McCallan causing all sorts of problems for a flat-footed defence and eventually poking the ball home. It was clearly the spur that Crusaders needed. Elbowed out of complacency, the prolific Glenn Hunter produced this class strike from 30 yards out. His 24th of the season, more than meriting the energetic kiss and cuddle. It took extra time to separate the sides, and Martin Murray put the Crews ahead for the first time in the match with a blistering left-foot shot. Not to be outdone, however, Bangor were back just 60 seconds later, aided by a defensive meringue. McKeown floundering off his line, allowing the unmarked Johnny McGee an easy header. But the Crews were not to be denied, nor was Martin Murray, nipping in with exquisite timing for his second of the night. "3-2 up, the men from the Shore Road can ultimately thank keeper Kevin McKeown for keeping Bangor at bay. His deft touch in the dying minute.
Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day from Northern Ireland. Locally, we were up for the Cup today when our 16 Irish League sides joined 16 juniors in the 5th round. Well, it's a new year and a new Cup. 113 years ago, Moyola Park was the first name on the Irish Cup. Who will be the first name on this magnificent new trophy? It took 2 replays last year, but Bangor eventually beat Ards. Paul Byrne got the vital goal. After 75 years of trying, the Seasiders had won the Cup. Stand by for an international action replay. It's North v South again in the... Many regarded as the best tie of the round. Neither club has a big Irish Cup tradition. Bangor's win last year was their first. Crusaders, they've only won it twice, 1967 and 1968. So both sides with a lot to play for. But before the kick-off today, like everywhere else throughout the UK, a great man was remembered. The Players and spectators here observing a minute's silence for Sir Matt Busby, who died earlier this week. The referee for today's cup tie is Mr. Freddie McKnight, very experienced local official. Very strong breeze here today at Clandeboy Road, and in this first half, Crusaders playing from left to right will have it in their back to their favour. The pitch, I had a walk on it earlier today. It looks sandy in parts, but there's a bit of give, and the condition is not too bad overall. O'Connor, bad ball though. Murray has it. Collins, the use of the arm, says the referee, who is right beside him. Just looking at the Bangor set up at the back, number 11 Spears, as I thought, lining up alongside Stephen Brown as the central defensive pairing. Forward by McGuinness. Oh, McCallum! Oh, it's in the net! What a tremendous strike that was! Just 5 minutes on the watch. Goal number 26 of the season for him. And that must be his best one so far. Let's look at this one again. It may have taken a slight ricochet here, but McCallum, ever lurking, there's the half chance. Oof! McKeown, beaten to the wide. Lawler forward. Dunn. That's Kenny. Away by Brown. Here's Carroll. Free kick given. The flag was up for offside. McCallum finds McGee. Back to McCallum. Cash tries to cover. McGee, the flag is up. And that must have been very close indeed, because Martin Murray, behind McGee, could well have been playing him on. And there can't have been too much in it. McCallum, first attempt blocked. Decided, lovely little knock through, and it must have been close. A busy goal mouth, it's fair to say, and the target for Burrows. Eaches did well, it's in the net, but the whistle is gone. And there's a bit of wrestling. It's all light-hearted stuff. Premature cheers there from the Crusaders supporters. There we see it. Collins is in there, Cash is in there, and I think the keeper was impeded, as probably it's Michael Cash gets the final touch, but it won't count. Crusaders chase forward. Here's Kenny. He's given it away though, as indeed did Glendinning, and this is McCartney for Crusaders. Burrows, could he be in there? Eaches taken out, but nothing given. As Burrows goes down inside the box. It will be interesting to see that again. Having said that, not too many claims, and I'm not sure that Eaches touched him. But Crusaders still putting on the pressure, still trying to get back into this cup tie. McCartney's throw. Spears got it out. Surgeon knocks it forward. McCallum, shadowed as always by Lawler. Robbie Lawler will be enjoying the tussle with McCallum. And apart from the McCallum strike after 5 minutes, which gave Bangor the lead, the central defender has done well in that tussle. Carroll being pushed in the back by Conor McCaffrey. So Lawler to try again, looks for the head of Collins, finds it, and that's Brown to get it away. And a good prediction there for the free kick. Lawler, he's always looking for the big fella. He did well, the looping header, and Brown, good clearance. Oh, Hunter did well to get there first before Brown. Collins is in the middle, but Hunter decided to go alone, and the corner's been given. Applause from the Crusaders' terraces. The man who's got 23 goals looking for number 24, but not this time. Burrows with the in-swinger again. Once again, Bangor get it out. Dunn. Lawler, he just wouldn't fall for him, can he? Good control from the fullback. And Bangor, this is Surgeon. Cash in there, challenging as always. He's onside. McCallum. Carroll trying to catch him. Pulls it back. Just couldn't find the room for the finish. But it just shows you how dangerous David McCallum can be. He set off here on the long run. Good touch forward, looking for his second goal of the day. But fair to Crusaders, they got men back, and they'd conceded the corner. But Bangor have it again. That was forward by Brown, but he's given it away. Here's Dunn, the man who was on loan from Bohemians, but just today has signed a permanent deal. McGee forward this time. Oh, that's a bad ball, a mistake from Lawler. McGee could be in here for number 2. It's 1-on-1. The keeper did very well. And what a real chance for Jonathan McGee to make it 2-0. Bangor set the second half in motion, leading by 1-0. And that's Kenny. Did well, but then gave a bad ball to Sid Burrows. And looking round, it seems as though no substitutions by either side as yet. The Surgeon picks it up. Michael Cash hooks it clear. Hunter gets it forward. Collins finds Dunn. Spears. McCallum giving chase, the man who got the only goal so far this afternoon in the 5th minute, and quite a goal it was. Crusaders forgetting their 2 games in Europe. They've lost only 5 of 32 games this season, but they are trailing in this one at the moment. And they will not be wanting to exit from the Irish Cup as they did last year at the first hurdle. But a long way to go. Cash. The flag stays down. Here's Glenn Hunter. Each is out of his goal. Oh, the keeper blocked it. But that was good thinking by Glenn Hunter. He saw that Eaches had advanced, thought about the chip, and Eaches did well to recover. McCartney. Oh, he almost gave it to McCallum, who could have been in. Forward by McCartney. The flag stays down, and Bangor slightly caught here as Kenny makes his way to the byline. Done! Tremendous chance. It's not finished yet. Here's Collins. And Hill gets it clear, but that should have been 1-1. And here was the moment. Bangor caught for the moment. Kenny, good low cross in, found Dunn, and he should have buried it. Eaches switches direction, comes right, off the head of Glendinning. Oh, McGee won it. And here's McCartney. Burrows hits it forward. Dunn chasing and showing a bit of pace, but Stephen Brown quickly across to clear the danger. Forward by Murray. That's Spears with the header. Kenny. Oh, the low cross! And Collins just couldn't get there. Murray lines it up. And it was just inches over the top of Stephen Each's crossbar. This is a good cross, and Collins, he just couldn't get the right foot to it. Collins did well to hold it up. Kirk Hunter. Kenny settles for the throw as we enter the last 10 minutes of this fifth round tie. Still Bangor 1 up. Here's Cash. And Brown, a bit of a mix-up with Eaches. You can see the argument. Almost letting Glenn Hunter in. And it's a corner for Sid Burrows and Crusaders. That's the target. So, oh, it's off the bar. And a real let-off there for Bangor. I think it was McCartney. And Bangor at 6s and 7s. The corner caught the head of McCartney all the way across and nudged the crossbar. Callan, no one up front. Not quite happy just to keep it down this end of the pitch. McKeown will dispatch it back to the Bangor end. Instead, he gives it to Lawler. And he hits it long. Burrows. Oh, it fell, the ricochet for Glenn Hunter. Burrows. McCartney. Tries to get it onto his left foot. He's still going. Down he goes. And nothing given. And McCartney certainly looking for a penalty there. Weaving his way through. And was he impeded? McCartney. Livingston. Lawler will give it to Kenny. Collins holds it up. Finds Kenny. Long cross. Crusaders still have it. That's McCartney. But no real trouble for Eaches. But at this stage of the game, well, you've got to give it a go. McCartney did, but Eaches was there. Coming up to the 90-minute mark. Crusaders, I was saying, in 4th place in the league championship race. I'll interrupt. Here's McCallan for number 2. It's not. McKeown, good save, and immediately throws it out. Dornan, here's Livingston. Oh, Glenn Hunter just couldn't get there. We're now into time added on. Kirk Hunter. Kirk Hunter again. McCartney. But once again, the yellow wall is there, and the free kick given. I was going to say a few minutes earlier, Crusaders in 4th place. They're still in the league championship race. But are they going out at the first hurdle of the Irish Cup again, as they did last year? And the holders, it seems, have made a winning start to their defence. McAvoy beats it through. McCallan, very strong, but crowded out. McCartney hits it long. O'Connor won it and felt the challenge from Collins. We've now played 1 minute of time added on. And I'm not sure that John O'Connor is wasting time here. I do believe he felt the challenge from the big fella. Almost 4 minutes played. Off the head of Livingston. Glendenning in there, strong challenge, and wins the throw-in for Bangor as the rain comes down here at Clandeboye Park. Nigel Best in the background there with the navy blue overcoat. And it looks as though he is the winning manager today. Glendenning takes the throw. It's all over. Not a classic cup tie by any means. Crusaders will know they had a lot of pressure, but they couldn't find a way through. And Bangor, well, they got the vital goal, the only goal, just 5 minutes into the game. David McCallan, his 26th of the season, and it was good enough to send those people, the Bangor fans, into raptures and into the next round of the Irish Cup. Final score is Bangor 1, Crusaders 0.
Don't think I could express my feelings adequately in words. Disappointment's understating it.
The early goal must have been a real sickener for you.
Well, I think that was typical of the way the game went. They got at the break of a ball in the box, and the guy finished it very well. Fair play to him for that. But we didn't, after dominating the game for so long, we didn't get any breaks. I mean, we've had a goal disallowed for a supposed infringement on a goalkeeper, which is probably debatable. A penalty kick appeal turned down, which looked a good penalty. Hit the bar, ball flashing across the face of the goal. It just was one of those days where it wouldn't go in the net for us. When we needed a break, we didn't get it, and they got one, and that was that.
To be honest, I was worried because they did pen us right back in the second half, and we had to defend last-ditch stuff at times. But I felt we limited them only to a few chances, and I would also feel that we had a number of chances, maybe slightly better chances, in fact, clear-cut, whereas they were having to try and get shots maybe through a crowd at us.
We don't really change the way we play. We go and have a go at teams, and we always try and win games. We never try and draw games. We try and win every game we play in. But fair play to them. I mean, I don't begrudge them anything. If they continue to have that rub of the green that they had today, they could retain the trophy.
We'll have to see, Roy. Well, Ian McFall and Paul Malone are here. Ian, you were at Clandeboye today working for Radio Ulster. What did you make of the game overall?
Well, I thought, you know, I can sort of side with Roy Walker a little bit. I felt that they had a lot of possession. They made one or two chances that they maybe should have done better with. You know, thinking about his possession, I would think he might be disappointed when he sees it tonight that he didn't create a few more chances. You can't take it away from Bangor to a certain extent because they defended quite well.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're in the hat and Crusaders are not. And, you know, it's disappointing from the like of Roy because I've seen Crusaders quite a lot and I know how they try to play football. And they did get into good situations as regards getting into wide positions, crossing balls, getting balls in the box. But it didn't finish in the net. And, you know, it must be soul-destroying for them.
Now, let's clear up some talking points here. And Crusaders had a goal disallowed, a foul on the Bangor keeper, Eaches. What did we make of this? Here we are. What did you make of that, Paul?
Well, there was 3 Crusaders players around the goalkeeper, and I think the referee was right. I think it was a foul on the keeper.
Ian, you're a former goalkeeper. What about that?
Well, the only thing I would say about it, you know, for a big fella, like, he hasn't attacked the ball maybe at the highest point, and all right, we're getting tactical now, and one thing or another, but there was 3 players around him, one from the back, so it maybe prevented him getting up. But at the end of the day, the referee was nearer to than what we were, and, you know, initially I thought it was a foul.
Yeah.
But when you see it on television, you get a little doubt in your mind, but it's too late then. The referees give the decision.
Talking about a little doubt, let's move on to the Crusaders' penalty claim, and I think there's a bit of doubt about this one. Gary McCartney on the way through here. What about this?
Well, you look at it, and he's gone through, he's gone past the player, he's knocked the ball past the player, and the leg is still out there, you know, and that's preventing him moving any further. But then again, the referee's maybe looking at the situation. Is he going to retrieve the ball again? Because there's a defender coming back in there to sweep it up. But I would think that Roy Walker would be very disappointed he didn't get a penalty.
Yeah, Paul, what about the penalty?
Well, seeing it there, I thought what he called it was definitely a penalty kick. I thought Eddie Spears had the leg out and he didn't take it back, and I thought he just left it in there, and I thought it was a clear-cut penalty kick. Yeah,
I'm inclined to agree. I thought it was a pen, having watched it quite a number of times, I have to say. As a former striker, Paul, I think you'd have enjoyed the only goal of the game from Mr. McCallan.
Tremendous goal. He just got a wee bit of rub of the green, and he didn't half-hit it, did he?
Tremendous finish. There's a bit of a ricochet here, though.
Yeah, a bit of a ricochet, but tremendous finish. He just knocked the ball in, just touch there, and bang. Tremendous strike. I'm sure he'll be well pleased with that, and the keeper no chance.
And the holders are through.
They are, and you know, it's cup football, isn't it? Really, you know, you get two teams, and I would have said that would probably be the match of the round, you know, because it was the most difficult one, I would have thought. And Bangor at home, they defended well, they had to.
Yes.
You know, Nigel played with 3 centre-backs. He gave into certain situations that...
And Ards are highly motivated, determined to win a trophy that was lifted last season by one of the league's less fashionable clubs. Here's Mark.
How significant a trophy is the County Antrim Shield? For an answer, ask anyone at Carrick Rangers. Success in last season's final represented a first senior success, and clearly it meant a great deal. Carrick to seal it! Yes, they've done it! They can't quite believe it! And thanks to victory in this match, the Shield also became a landmark in the managerial career of Roy Walker.
Well, it's a trophy dear to us, and it's the first one that I won as a manager here, and it broke the mould for 6 or 7 barren years. So we're determined to win everything we enter. You can see by the 6 sides that when the two teams take the side against each other, we go to win all games and everything we play in.
The Crews are, of course, going for their second trophy of the season. The Ulster Cup is already under lock and key down the Shore Road. Murray, Burrows, Hunter! What a beautifully worked goal by Crusaders that was! The commitment shown in that game was typical Crusaders.
I think spirit counts for us for about maybe 5 to 6 points at least every season. The spirit's excellent. It's the best dressing room I've ever been involved with as a player, and we want to cement that relationship between players and management, and indeed supporters. We're all one big happy family here, and long may that continue.
Ards beat Glenavon in their semi-final, something of a surprise, but did that give Roy Coyle's men the feeling that they could at last bridge a barren gap of 20 years without any silverware?
Yes, exactly. That is the big plus for it, because we were given no hope at all of winning that game. Glenavon were still in contention for the league championship. You know, we were just to turn up, and the game was a result for Glenavon Football Club. But it did prove to the players that if they do perform, and perform well and work hard, that you can get things out of it. And I do believe that certainly it's going to be a very, very tight game, and we're going there with hopefully trying to win it, that's for sure.
The Coyle master plan will include the erasure of this nasty memory, when Crusaders ripped Ards apart in the first half of a recent league match. It turned out to be a pretty exciting game, but Coyle is determined to reverse the result for a couple of reasons.
Well, I'd love to win, because my first trophy ever with Linfield was a County Antrim Shield, so I'm hoping it's a good omen, and I say hopefully it could be a springboard for better things for Ards Football Club.
And we'll have highlights from that County Antrim Shield final here on UTV at 10:40 this evening, with Adrian presenting and Mark commentating. And by the way, Crusaders have granted Roy MacDonald a testimonial match, and already negotiations are underway to bring Liverpool to Seaview sometime before the end of the season.
Good result for Linfield and Glenavon this one. Portadown did open well. Peter Murray did the donkey work, and his ball found a thoroughbred in Sandy Fraser, who scored a quality goal. But what did the Crews take at half-time? The unidentified magic potion certainly helped, because they equalised within 17 seconds of the restart. Roddy Collins, the scorer.
Crusaders hit 4 against Newry Town. Crusaders got off to a flying start. In the 3rd minute, skipper Sid Burrows' corner met by Glenn Dunlop on the near post. Newry Town were unperturbed though, and in the 12th minute, veteran Ollie Ralph forced a super double save from keeper Kevin McKeown. The Crews stretched their lead after putting Brendan Keeley under serious pressure. Gary McCartney and Stephen Livingston testing him to the limit before Roddy Collins eventually found the net. In the 53rd minute, Glenn Hunter converted from a corner with a far post header. And then Roddy Collins grabbed his second of the night, nipping between the defence. The Crews cruised to a comfortable 4-0 win. Meanwhile, at Clandyboy Road...
But the Crews were 2-1 up after 15 minutes, thanks to some aerial bombardment. Stephen Baxter. And then Stephen Livingstone headed past Eamon Gallagher. The young 18-year-old made a valiant effort in nets. His defence didn't help much though, as Baxter made it 3-1. In the second half, another Sid Burrows cross set up Baxter for his hat-trick. And 3 minutes later, it was 5-1, a powerful run and finish from captain Kirk Hunter. Burrows it was, yet again, who orchestrated
Keown's early fumble. Crusaders like Glenavon were injury-riddled, but of the two they had the upper hand in this arduous encounter, Beck seeing off this effort in the second half. Crusaders' controversial goal came through a Glen Hunter header, a desperate Beck grappling for the ball which crossed the line, but only just. Referee Norman Coy consulting the linesman for guidance and the goal awarded. After last week's exit from the Ulster Cup, last night's departure from yet another competition highlighted the surprising change in the Lurgan side's fortunes. The dip in form made worse by the booking and subsequent dismissal of John Smith for dissent. The midfielder sent off early to the dressing room to the musical accompaniment of the Crusaders fans. The Shore Road faithful sensing a chance to retrieve the trophy they last won back in '85.
Long time, you know, 7, 8 years, long time, but we'll be giving it our best shot this year, you know.
They made it 3-1 after 50 minutes. Tony Gorman's shot deflected past McKeown. And a sitter, it should have been 4. This blockbuster from Gorman crashing off the bar. But after 69 minutes, Stephen Lynch with the corner. It was met by Glenn Dunlop to set up a cracking finale. And in the 76th minute, super sub Lynch grabbed the equaliser. Lawler, he was forced to watch as his 2 shots were blocked away by the defence, first once, then twice. Stephen Baxter opened the scoring for Crusaders at the showgrounds after 2 minutes. The long ball into the defence. Baxter got on the header. Keeley couldn't hold it. The centre forward followed up. The second came after 19 minutes. Stephen Livingstone, out here in the right, fired on a blistering cross. It hit Harry Kenny and finished in the back of the goals. When Newry were under continuous pressure and after a goal-mouth scramble, it was Baxter who made it 3 in 25 minutes. 46 minutes produced number 4. A Stephen Stewart pile driver, Keeley again in difficulties. Aaron Callahan pushed it home. A newcomer, Paul Stokes, pulled one back from Newry after 71 minutes, firing in this unstoppable shot from 30 yards. But Crusaders weren't finished. Hunter this time turned poacher. This was a neat effort by the number 10. And then in the dying minutes, Newry grabbed a consolation late on. Timilty, the man who eventually plays the through ball, and it was Stokes at the double to get his second, but it was 5. What a game he had with the cross. And midfielder Liam Dunnan marked with the header. 1-0 to Crusaders at half-time. Crusaders got their second after 52 minutes. Baxter again with the telling pass, and Glenn Hunter with time, and this time too with the perfect finish. Two minutes from the end, Distillery grabbed the consolation. The ball moved outright to 3.
The goals were of the calibre for any connoisseur. First after Callahan brought down Nell just outside the area. Raymond Campbell, who passed a late fitness test, the man on the ball, and didn't he do well? A belting right foot shot. Kevin McKeown had no hope. But all credit to Crusaders, they knuckled down with the kind of determination that has become their trademark. And after 16 minutes, this tackle by Bailey won Stevie Baxter a penalty. The big man who played so well in their weekend win over Omagh getting his just rewards, fittingly over his former team. From then on, they had the upper hand, courtesy of an industrious midfield from which came the winner. Gary McCartney and Sid Burrows combining well. Setting up Baxter, who just connected with the post. But McCartney provided the support and drilled the ball home from 15 yards. A right footer, something of a rarity for the 34-year-old, but securing him his first goal of the season and Man of the Match award.
It's always good to beat the Blues, you know.
Dangers from these kind of positions. Mark Kenny's the free kick wizard, he takes it. Good chance for Bangor and a great save by Kevin McKeown. Here's Dunlop, out to Lawler. Lovely ball to Hunter. He'll do well to keep it in, but he does manage to keep it in. Baxter's the only one in the middle. Punched away. Dunn. And Dunn does score and gives Crusaders the lead. Well, what a spectacular goal that was by Liam Dunn. His first one was parried, but he tucked away the second one with ease. Dangerous position for Bangor. Curry punches away again, and Curry knocks it forward to Rowe. He's up front all on his own at the moment. Stephen Stewart's hounding him. Zeke Rowe does extremely well. There's nobody forward for him though. He is on his own, but he still goes on. And he scores! What an incredible goal by Zeke Rowe! About 1 minute to go before half-time, and the new striker from Chelsea scores an absolutely sensational goal. The defending has to be questioned, but Zeke Rowe... Oh, surely a shove. Referee says no and play on. Well, it looks like a push in the back to me. We'll have to have another look at that, just to clarify it. Duncan Campbell still in possession. Swings it in, but easy for McKeown. Well, let's see what happened. Well, it might just have been accidental. Hard to tell, really. Minutes gone. Glentoran 1, Crusaders 0. Glenn Dunlop's long ball. Neil Armstrong comes out, thinks about catching it well outside the area, and eventually, at the last moment, kicked it away. Stephen Baxter just holding the back of his thigh. Seems to be hobbling slightly. Let's hope he can run that off. Stewart. McCartney's through the middle. Burrows is on his left. Floats it to the far post. Too far for everybody. Well, it was the right idea. Crusaders have got to keep swinging those crosses in. Slightly too far. Martin Murray, persistence might just pay off. Into the side netting. In fact, it was Kirk Hunter with that opportunity, not Martin Murray. A very strong, piercing run by Kirk Hunter, typical of the big man. He just kept driving on, and his shot may well have ended up in the net. It was only inches away. Well, Kirk Hunter is renowned for these kind of runs. He's included in the side tonight to replace Liam Dunn. And didn't he come close there? Stephen Livingstone on for Crusaders. Contrasting styles this evening between the two teams. I watched Bangor play Crusaders on Saturday, and that was their ploy all evening, all afternoon. The long ball forward, and I'm sure that'll be the same this evening. Keep trying to get those deep crosses in from the flanks. Torn on the other hand. There'll be the short passes, I would think. Robbie Lawler. Ben Hunter. McCartney. Sid Burrows gets on the end of it. Tries to turn Michael Smith. Smith foot gives away the throw. But good stuff from the Crows. Here's Burrows. Oh, neat stuff from Burrows. Gets his cross in too. Murray. Oh, splendid goal by Martin Murray. Just coming up to 32 minutes gone, and Crusaders square this match. It was Sid Burrows' cross. Glenn Hunter flicked it on. Glentoran defence cleared, but just look at that for a first-time strike. Well, Martin Murray, he scored some fine goals in his time. He's aged 36, but the seasoned campaigner, I'm sure, won't score a better one than that. Beautiful goal. Darren Parker, here's Dave Martindale. Put by Stephen Livingstone, and that'll be a free kick to the Glens. Martindale will take this. That's aimed towards Campbell and Justin McBride. Flick backwards by McBride, a cheeky back flick, and it wasn't too far away. Well, Justin McBride made a very good run. And how did he ever manage to get his head to that? Andy Matheson tries to get away from Glenn Hunter. Matheson lucky to win that back. Stephen Livingstone. Robbie Lawler. Glenn Hunter. McCartney heads it back to Hunter. Darren Parker is shepherding him at the moment. That's a fine challenge from young Darren Parker. Robbie Lawler. Big Kirk Hunter's at the far post. So Stevie Livingstone. Tremendous effort by Stephen Livingstone. Well, Stephen Baxter usually creates the havoc up front, but his replacement, Stephen Livingstone, he is as tall, and he certainly is as dangerous. That just shaved the post. Hunter, back flick just doesn't quite work. Parker knocks it forward immediately to Justin McBride. He'll do very well to keep it in. Oh, super touch from McBride. And he wins the throw as well. Nice football from the wee man. Cunnington to Martindale. Matheson's pushed up from the back. Cut out by Livingstone. It's 2-on-2. Here's Hunter. Can he give it back to Livingstone? He can. Livingstone against Armstrong. He skips past him. And he slices his shot. Well, I'm sure Stephen Livingstone will rue that opportunity. It was a delightful move by Crusaders. Glenn Hunter knocked the ball forward to him. He only had Neil Armstrong to beat. He did beat him, and he was so unfortunate with that shot. Well, here's what Neil Armstrong saw as Stephen Livingstone raced in on him. He'll be thoroughly disappointed he didn't give the Crews the lead. Let's see how close it came. He just slipped as he took that shot. Unlucky. Smith against Hunter. Pushed by Kirk Hunter. McBride almost latches on to the end of that. Cunnington, good opportunity for Cunnington. An important tackle by Stephen Livingstone, who swept that ball clear. About a minute and a half of injury time played. The half-time whistle surely looms. By Dunlop. And referee David McGill blows the half-time whistle. Duncan Campbell gave Glentoran the lead after 8 minutes. But then the old stalwart Martin Murray equalised after 32. So Glentoran won, Crusaders won. 45 minutes to determine a winner, and if we can't in that space of time, then it's extra time and penalties. Let's hope those aren't needed though. Let's hope the quality of the game improves somewhat too. Two excellent strikes in the first half, but in between, not a lot. The Glens and the Crews have only played once before in a Gold Cup final. And that was back in 1967, and a super game it was too. I'm sure there's quite a few of you remember it. As Crusaders press forward for a first chance, and Neil Armstrong collects and releases immediately. Too far for Michael Smith. There's Roy Walker, happy enough, I'm sure, that the team came back at the end of the first half. Here's Sid Burrows. Whips in the left foot cross to Glenn Hunter. Turns well. Almost deflects in. Well, it was a tight turn by Glenn Hunter. He did well to control it. And the shot was deflected over by Michael Smith. George Neal. Long ball from him. Dunlop leaves it for McKeown. Free kick. Hunter on Matheson. Shakes his head in disbelief. Dunlop. It's had a sterling game so far in the centre of that Crusaders defence. Free kick this time to Glentoran. Neil anxious to take it quickly. No pattern emerging as yet. Lawler heads that away. Smith has a swipe at it, doesn't connect. And Burrows breaks for Crusaders. Burrows has got pace. Burrows has done very well indeed. Hunter's in the middle for him. Hunter's at the far post. And he wins the corner. Promising stuff from Sid Burrows. Livingstone crosses it in. It's a dangerous one. Well, Glentoran very lucky to get away with that. Armstrong came out to catch it, and he was bundled off it. It was Livingstone's cross. Armstrong came up, just couldn't hold on to it, but it was eventually hooked away by George Neal. Burrows. A lot of green and black shirts to deal with. Crusaders have it back again, though. Livingstone, back to Dunlop. Here's Lawler. Callahan has to backpedal quickly. McKeown, as McBride comes towards him. The great kick out by McKeown. Burrows. Stephen Livingstone. Glenn Hunter. Glenn Hunter gets past Darren Parker. McCartney's in the middle, so's Hunter. Away by Matheson. Stephen Livingstone keeps that in. Well, it's just the crossing at the moment. It's letting Crusaders down. If they can be slightly more accurate, then someone may just get onto the end of it. They're producing some quite promising stuff, surely. Headed by Callahan. And an illegal challenge, free kick to Glentoran. Martindale. Oh, and the shot just streams past the post. Well, Norman Kelly, a good opportunity for him. The free kick taken quickly. The right foot shot had McKeown beaten. Oh, tantalisingly close. Lawler. Coming up to about 15 minutes gone. Murray wins that challenge with Kelly. Knocked forward for Glenn Hunter. Hunter! Oh, very close from Hunter. He may well rue that opportunity. It was one of those long balls the Crusaders have been trying for the whole match. This one worked. Great opportunity for the Cruise. Let's see how close it was. Well, it was that close. Damien Kelly comes on for Andy Matheson. Glentoran crowd patiently waiting, hopefully waiting for that winner. So 22.5 minutes gone, and another corner for the Glens. Gary Smith's at the near post for them. Stevie Livingstone trying to force him out of the way. Glens off to take a short one again. Smith knocks it in with the left foot. Oh, and it almost goes in. Michael Smith knocked the cross in, and let's just see exactly what happened. Well, it was an unknown touch, really, wasn't it? Kevin McKeown didn't really know what was happening, and I don't blame him, because I don't think anyone else did either. McBride tries to turn. The challenge from Lawler. The referee, David McGill, didn't like it. And this is a very good position for Glentoran. Kevin McKeown trying to get the wall into shape. He'll be eager to have them positioned properly. Glentoran have got a couple of free kick specialists. Eddie Cunnington's one of them. Martindale standing over the ball at the moment. George Neal's made a good run to the right. There's nobody on him. He gets his cross in. Oh, and a great save by McKeown. How did Duncan Campbell miss it? And how did Kevin McKeown save it? ball's immediately back in play through Michael Smith. Play on, says the referee. Burrows launches it forward, and Glenn Hunter may well get on to the end of it. He's all on his own. He'll just hold it up for the moment. Nips past Gary Smith. A lot of support for him now. Livingstone drives it past the post. Well, let's have a look at that Glentoran chance just a few moments ago. Delightful cross by George Neal. Point-blank header from Campbell. Really was a good save by McKeown. Well, Duncan Campbell really should have given Glentoran the lead. The on-loan striker will be disappointed, but didn't Kevin McKeown do superbly? Dunlop pushes forward, knocks it out to Callahan. McCartney tries to give it back to Callahan. Hawker's there to clear. George Neal to Campbell, knocks it through the middle to McBride. Another great save by McKeown. Well, the two strikers almost combined there. McBride came charging through. McKeown stood his ground and was positioned in exactly the right place. There's Livingstone. Stevie Livingstone again. Just can't keep that in play. And that will be a throw for Glentoran, which Michael Smith will take. Referee just coming over the touchline to have a few words. Under 3 minutes to go, and unless something magical happens, I think we're heading towards extra time. But you never know. Smith's header. Here's Cunnington. Eddie Cunnington. Again, a very important challenge by Glenn Dunlop. And then a foul by him. He's incensed. Well, Glentoran really have to make something of this. McBride's in there, Kelly's in there. So's Campbell. So's Smith. Oh, great save! Well, Kevin McKeown, another wonderful save from him. Well, he's kept them in the game, hasn't he? Gary Smith, superb header, fingertips on it, and it came off the underside of the crossbar. Campbell drove it into the side netting. That's the third save Kevin McKeown's had to make. That was the best of them. Glentoran still pushing forward in search of that winner. Less than a minute to full time. Here's George Neal. Headed away by Murray. Neal has it back again. Lofted in. McBride. Well, his header was over the goal line. He's worked tirelessly, Justin McBride.